is a nightmare. Man, that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.
Welcome to Today in Horrible History, your daily dose of historical misfortune. For March 13th, 2022, we head way back to March 13th of 1697 on the Julian calendar. On that date, a team of 235 Spanish soldiers and 120 native laborers, all under the command of Basque Spanish conquistador Martin de Ursua, arrived at Lake Petén Itza and conquered the last remaining holdout Mayan kingdom, thereby completing the Spanish conquest of the Maya and in many ways ending a multiple century era of culture and in some ways creating a new synchronist culture which thrives in many ways to this day. It was, however, the death knell for independent Maya self-rule, which has continued century after century to be a general disaster for the native population of Central America. I've actually been to Petén, or as it's been known since 1831, the small city of Flores in Guatemala. I was there 25 years ago, and I had no idea, it wasn't as much of a plaque up, that any of this had happened there. It is today the place that you are most likely to stay overnight if you are going to go visit the Tikal Ruins and Bioreserve National Park, which I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to do so. But yeah, it's an incredibly interesting place. The modern city I found to be sufficiently modern enough and nondescript that I did not think that the place had been inhabited for more than several decades, headed back to, I thought, probably as a base for archaeological exploration, given the surrounding environment of pretty dense jungle. As it turns out, there's been continuous inhabitation of the island since about 900 BC, or perhaps as recently, quote-unquote, as 600 BC. But certainly there's been perpetual human occupation of the island for far, far longer than I had any idea. And I'm going to give you a book recommendation. I believe it's the second one in this series of videos that we've done thus far. And that is Maya Conquistador by Dr. Matthew Restel, which is a fantastic book about the complex nature of the Spanish conquest of the Maya. Dr. Restel, I've had the opportunity to interview him for about an hour for a radio program, and he's a fascinating guy and really the go-to guy for the conquistador period. He teaches currently at Penn State University, and it's a fantastic book, and he could tell you more. There's been a recent. I'm not compensated for this, by the way, but there's been a recent new edition of the book that's been put out in order to, he's incorporated some new information and some new thinking in a 25th anniversary edition, and you should definitely check out even an older copy. The book's fantastic. You'll learn so much more about this than I could ever portend to share in one of these little videos. So I'll just end on a kind of downer note that there are apparently only less than 1,100 speakers of the Itza language of the Maya remaining, and I'm not sure that any of them speak the language as a first language at this point. I think that's been supplanted by Spanish. So in many, many ways, this date, 1697, the end of an era. On that happy note, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more Today in Horrible History. And remember, as always, that after a few minutes here, the rest of your day can only seem better in comparison.
Life is a nightmare. Man, that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.